Well, good afternoon to all of you, and welcome. It's wonderful to have all of you here today, and I'd like to say a special welcome as well to Gracia and Alina. Thank you very much, leaders of our student government. And also, we have members of our governmental affairs team from the system who are here, so thanks for coming today. And there are a few chairs if you're wanting to find them, so help yourself to those. Well, I hope that the start of the semester has been going really well for you. There's something pretty special about it, I think, with the excitement and promise that comes with that. And today, at the State of the Campus address, it gives us a break from our daily routines, and we can have a chance to reflect on what we've accomplished together and to reaffirm our commitment to the journey that we're on together, the journey towards excellence and recognition as a top asset of the city. I've been looking forward to this day for some time. My husband Ted and I just returned from spending a long weekend in San Antonio with our daughter and her family. We hadn't seen them for a few months, and we were especially excited to see Eiley, our 5-year-old granddaughter, who is a new kindergartner. It was such fun hearing her describe all the things she's learning and talking about her new friends. Every 2 weeks or so, her school has a dress-up day. And as it happens, yesterday was their Wear Your Favorite College T-shirt day. Well, you can imagine that Eiley had no trouble deciding what shirt she wanted to wear. So I asked her, "Are you going to college?" And she answered, "Of course. Everybody does, at least until they're 20. So it does strike me as pretty telling that even as kindergartners, the idea of going to college is already being planted. In addition to it being what may seem to be an obvious answer to what you do after high school, we know the choice for our students represents something much deeper than that. And for all of us, answering the question, why, can be a helpful exercise to ground us as we face the challenges of a new semester. Why are we doing the work we do? And doing it in this particular place with these particular students? Why did we choose to spend our careers in higher education? Why did we choose a public urban research university? Why did we choose CU Denver? Individuals, whether students, faculty, or staff, don't stay at a university without a powerful why. For me, I know it's in my heart that it's because of what this place represents. We matter to our students who are so capable and serious about learning, who come here to change their futures. We matter to our city and region, which depend on us to generate creative solutions to their needs and to fuel their economic engines. It is not hyperbole to say that the impact of our work drives society. It's important then that every now and then that we stop and take stock to ensure that we can continue to do what is so profoundly important. And that requires us to ask a different kind of why. Why is now such a critical time in the life of CU Denver? This is something I want to talk with you about today. As I consider the work that is underway and the considerable accomplishments over the past year, I'm eager to put those into context, to update you on progress toward our goals, to highlight the major initiatives that we've undertaken, and to share with you some thoughts about the coming year and the near future. In this same room, almost exactly 1 year ago, I talked about the perspectives you provided during my listening tour and how your feedback confirmed that as Colorado's only public urban research university, CU Denver fills a singular niche in contributing to the economic, social, and cultural vitality of our metropolitan region, our state, and beyond. From the listening tour, we identified 4 areas that rose to the top as opportunities for improvements that merited early attention. So we formed working groups and action teams for the K-12 pipeline, community college pathways, undergraduate academic advising, and the strategic use of scholarships and financial aid. Those led to the articulation of 5 strategic priorities to chart our course and guide our journey. When you arrived today, on your chairs was a little card that lists these priorities, and we ask you to take that with you. At last year's State of the Campus address, I shared those priorities with you and charged each of us with taking personal responsibility, whatever our role is, to work toward those priorities. I thank you for the passion and energy with which you have responded. Our community has truly rallied around our distinctive role and is making great strides in advancing this university and this city. Because of you, CU Denver is on the rise. Let's review our progress. Our first priority is to elevate student success through enhancing the student experience. This fall, we welcome 15,008 students to our campus, the first time that CU Denver has crossed the 15,000 enrollment threshold. Among them, we have the largest number of brand new links, almost 3,000, about evenly divided between new freshmen and transfer students. Our consistent focus and our highest priority is to help every single one of these students, as well as our continuing students, succeed. We launched the Student Success Partnership with the help of EAB in January to coalesce this work, along with the many other ongoing student success improvement efforts under one umbrella. Here are some of the concrete changes that have resulted from these efforts. This year, we are funding 5 new undergraduate advisors, moving us closer to the nationally recommended advisor-student ratios. Our budget also includes an increase in institutional financial aid for our undergraduates. Recommendations from the K-12 and community college action teams are helping to strengthen and smooth the transition and the pathways for students entering into CU Denver. The Pre-Collegiate Office and the Center for Identity and Inclusion, formerly EOP, strengthened the Summer Bridge program, which funds incoming freshmen to take summer introductory classes in math and English, preparing them for the rigor here and giving them a head start on their degree path. The transfer team here has expanded their presence on area community college campuses, and the Student Success Partnership is evaluating a proposal to expand the Transfer Admissions Center to provide more comprehensive services and support to our transfer students. Instructional innovations are being integrated in core classes. These include co-requisite math courses that provide students extra help, and hiring undergraduate students as learning assistants in science and math courses. Both programs have resulted in increased pass rates for our students. The Office of Undergraduate Experiences, the Center for Faculty Development, and the Office of Identity and Inclusion oversaw grants that supported faculty work in incorporating high-impact practices into their instruction. And several units led by information technology and our academic advisors, worked over the summer to get the new Student Success Partnership technology platform ready to launch, which will happen in early October. The platform uses student data for predictive analytics in order to provide appropriate interventions when students need more focused support. Our second priority is scholarly preeminence, continuing to advance excellence and innovation in our teaching, research, and creative work. We are delighted to welcome two new deans, Nan Ellen in the College of Architecture and Planning and Marty Dunn in the College of Engineering and Applied Science, who bring great energy and vision to their respective roles and our community at large. In addition, 66 new faculty joined our ranks this fall, and through the last year, 15 of our faculty earned tenure, and another 9 received promotions from associate to full professor. To accommodate increased demand and expand our reach in serving non-traditional learners, we've enhanced our investment in digital education. Using the strong technology infrastructure and services provided by CU Online, we have added focused academic leadership with Sheena Bull as our new Associate Vice Chancellor for Digital Education. And Scott Chadwick, our new Executive Director for Digital Education, will lead a robust marketing and business strategy. In this crowded educational marketplace, one of our most important differentiators is our role as a research university. This speaks to the quality and expertise of our faculty and their scholarly activities, our ability to attract and retain top-notch graduate students, and the additional rigor that is added to our undergraduate experience as students work alongside faculty, whether it's in research labs or in the community, learning by doing as they connect knowledge to real issues. To bolster these efforts, for the first time, we have included funding for graduate student recruitment in this year's budget. And we've launched a pilot project to provide graduate student scholarships, and that was on the recommendation of our action teams. We're also working to grow our sponsored research activity, committing additional resources for matching funds to be used when faculty compete for new grants. Given our advantageous location in the heart of the city, we're finalizing a process to award seed grants for faculty and student research on urban and local issues. Also, plans are underway to expand our health profession offerings in response to the increased workforce demand and capitalizing on our relationship with the Anschutz Medical Campus. We know that having adequate and appropriate space for teaching, learning, and research matters. After 8 months of work and with the involvement of 3 committees and dozens of other faculty and staff, we are nearing completion of CU Denver's first standalone facility master plan. When it is adopted by the Board of Regents later this semester, we will have a 10-year physical development plan to accommodate our future programmatic needs. The master plan addresses a number of goals articulated by all of you. These include physical improvements that ultimately reinforce the campus's sense of place, high-quality classrooms and laboratories, starting with a dedicated building for engineering, enhanced connections within and between our facilities on the Auraria campus and across Spear Boulevard, attractive student housing options, and adaptable office spaces. We will explore public-private partnerships, and we will step up our fundraising efforts in order to assist in making these goals attainable. We've also made great progress on our third priority, strengthening our position as a vital community asset. The CU in the City campaign, which we launched in February, paints a vivid picture of our symbiotic relationship with Denver and our many contributions to its civic, cultural, and economic health. As the campaign evolves, we'll put even greater emphasis on our academic quality and our status as a public urban research university, including the impact of our research and creative work on our community and on our world. We have completed an initial inventory of our many civic and community engagement initiatives. We've begun to consider what it means to be an anchor institution. And last December, the Denver Business Journal highlighted our role as a significant community asset in a cover story. And with the encouragement of Denver's mayor and one of our own alumni, Michael Hancock, we are developing a partnership with the city to create the City Center at CU Denver, which will be a hub for our urban-related research, our partnerships, and our engagement initiatives. Deans Paul Teskey and Nan Ellen are working with Norbert Chavez to flesh out this unique partnership. The City Center will serve as our front door, a clearinghouse for our urban research and outreach, and we'll be expanding opportunities for community connections, enhancing sponsored research and gifts, and providing a portal that's both physical and virtual for the public, private, and nonprofit sectors to access CU Denver and our many assets and resources. Between fall and spring semesters, we will be renovating space on the first floor of the CU Denver building to house the City Center. I believe we've moved the needle significantly on our fourth priority, creating a more collaborative, cohesive, and inclusive CU Denver culture. Last year, I talked about the silos that had evolved here at CU Denver for various reasons, leading to operational inefficiencies, duplications, and workarounds. And I asked you to help break them down. And boy, have you responded. Over the past year, people have been working together across disciplines and departments in truly new ways. We've seen this in the broad and enthusiastic partnerships that have formed with our action teams and committees on the Student Success Partnership, summer enrollment, with our scholarship efforts, and many other initiatives. Here are some other ways that we're improving our campus culture. We're using results from our first ever sexual misconduct survey to inform and improve the university's ongoing prevention of, education on, and response to all forms of sexual misconduct. We've started campus conversations, which have provided an opportunity for members of the leadership team to update and chat with the campus community on a variety of issues. I've enjoyed the give and take of those events, and I look forward to hosting more this year. And in light of recent national events, we publicly reiterated key tenets of our culture and reaffirmed our commitment to fostering an environment of inclusiveness, understanding, and mutual respect. We know our physical environment plays an important role in supporting both the work we do and the way we do our work. Several construction renovation projects have been completed or are underway. The Comcast Center at the Tivoli, a collaboration between the College of Arts and Media, College of Engineering and Applied Science, and Comcast, opened its doors as a showcase for how interdisciplinary innovation and industry partnerships converge to create the workforce of the future. The 12th and 13th floors of this building, the Lawrence Street Center, have been renovated to provide attractive, efficient office and team spaces for our advancement offices and our Office of OIT, Office of Institutional Technology. When the Student Wellness Center opens this spring, it will serve as a home away from home for our CU Denver students to exercise, engage in club sports, study, and socialize, deepening the sense of student community that has begun to flourish in recent years. In addition, $40 million is being invested to make improvements in the North Classroom building. This includes the renovation of 30 classrooms, new recitation and group study rooms, wireless connectivity in all classrooms, and upgrading all bathrooms in the building. We're grateful for the considerable patience those of you who teach, research, study, and office there have demonstrated. We promise the end results will be worth the inconvenience. We're making solid progress on our fifth priority, to achieve long-term financial stability and sustainability. To further increase and diversify our revenue, we've been working to bolster our summer academic offerings, expand executive education programs, add to our inventory of online courses, take full advantage of CU South Denver, strengthen alumni outreach, and plan a scholarship campaign that will launch early in 2018. I spoke last year about our dependence on enrollment as the primary source of our budget, and the fact that 80% of our general fund budget comes from tuition and fees. In simplest terms, when enrollment is up, we have a working budget, but when it goes down, we don't, as happened 2 years ago when we were unable to give base building raises or make strategic investments. This is not a sustainable model for us, so we're working to change it. Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration, Jennifer Sobenay, Provost Rod Nairn, our deans, vice chancellors, faculty assembly and its budget budget priorities committee, and our senior business administrators and many others have worked since last fall to redesign the CU Denver budget model. The new approach aligns our investments and resources with our strategic priorities by incentivizing the types of activities that drive both the student and financial success of our institution. The new model will increase transparency so that everyone understands how the budget works and what each of our roles are in ensuring CU Denver's financial sustainability. Along with the incentives built into the model, we are developing a planning and budgeting process that creates a forum for schools, colleges, and the central support units to discuss strategies and work together to achieve our priorities. This new approach provides incentives and authority to our schools and colleges to grow revenue, contain costs, and reallocate resources within their budgets, planning for their own long-term success, which in turn propels the long-term success of CU Denver. And this priority interacts with all the others. Just as student success is at the heart of what we do, financial stability is the foundation for all our efforts. Without a strong financial core, we cannot meet the needs of our students, provide the support that our faculty and staff need, or create a vibrant campus community. Our new budget model is being designed to align our goals and actions with our strategic priorities. And as we continue to articulate what differentiates us from other universities, we will invest in those unique strengths. At the end of the day, the budget should serve our strategic priorities rather than those priorities serving the budget. As we assessed our opportunities and challenges, it became clear that we did not have the financial capacity to accomplish financial stability on our own. This was recognized not just by us, but by the CU system leadership as well. So it was with the support of President Bruce Benson that we developed Delivering on Its Promise, an investment plan for CU Denver. In June, the Board of Regents approved this plan, which will provide $5 million annually for the next 10 years to help us create long-term financial stability for our campus. Far from being a handout, this comes with the expectation that we will utilize these resources both wisely and strategically, with the goal of weaning ourselves off them and becoming self-sufficient and financially sound for the years ahead. A number of the activities that I've highlighted as I talked about our strategic priorities are being supported with these funds. In addition, they are the source that enables us to provide base building, merit-based pay increases for everyone here at the campus. We have a lot happening And many of these initiatives are ongoing and will build this year and into the coming years. So I want to talk with you about how all of this fits together. To capitalize on our momentum and to assure focus and discipline as we continue to execute on our 5 strategic priorities, I have asked members of my leadership team to develop a 5-year actionable roadmap. This roadmap will define measurable goals for each priority, identify specific actions and people responsible for achieving those goals, and provide a schedule for milestones to measure our progress along the way. This roadmap will ensure that our major initiatives, including the Student Success Partnership and the budget model redesign, are intentionally integrated and are working together and supporting and informing the others. The roadmap is not another separate initiative. Rather, it will provide a tangible way for all of us to see where we're going and how everyone is contributing to get us there. Leading the roadmap effort are 5 drivers, 1 for each priority. Student success, Raul Cardenas. Scholarly preeminence, Rod Nairn. Community impact, Paul Teskey. Inclusive excellence, Brenda Allen. Financial sustainability, Jennifer Sobonet. They will begin their work on the roadmap this semester, starting with cataloging the activities and initiatives currently underway and those that they know are coming. We'll be looking at where our bets are placed to assure that they are creating the results we desire in those areas that are most critical to our long-term success. Knowing that our financial and human resources are finite, the roadmap will help us weigh the potential impact against the effort and investment that will be required. We anticipate this work to last through the semester with a final roadmap to share with our entire community in the spring. And the roadmap won't be static, but will remain nimble to consider changes in the environment and unforeseen opportunities that arise. It will outline how we align our efforts so that we are all rowing in unison. It will identify and prioritize the strategies we will further employ to propel us to recognition as one of Denver's top assets. I believe this community has the motivation, the ability, and the drive to take CU Denver to the levels of distinction never before realized. The strategic roadmap will assist us in getting there, achieving sustained, measurable progress as we go. At the beginning of my remarks, I asked, why are we doing the work we do and doing it in this particular place with these particular students? Why is now such a critical time in the life of CU Denver? Let's talk for a moment about our students who were with us at the start of fall semester in 2016. They numbered 14,795, and each icon on the screen represents 100 of them. They mirrored the racial and ethnic makeup of our community, and 40% were first-generation college students. All of them came to us with their hopes and dreams of earning a college degree. In fact, 20% of them, just over 3,000, graduated. 60%, almost 8,900 of them, are back this semester. However, another 20%, 2,900 individuals, did not return this fall. For those 2,900 students, we hope they return, but evidence shows us that once they stop out, it's a difficult road back. Now let's look at fall 2017 enrollment. We work really hard to recruit new students, and those efforts are paying off. As I mentioned earlier, we crested 15,000 for the first time. That includes the 8,865 students who continued from last year, and the addition of 6,143 new students. Those new students replaced the 6,062 who graduated or didn't return, and we had a net gain of 200 students. Just imagine if we had recruited these 6,000 new students and had kept a good number of the 3,000 who didn't return. Certainly, it would have been beneficial to our bottom line. Instead of staying even, we would have resources to invest in our people and programs. But there's an even more important moral imperative. Clearly, the majority of our students come to us with the expectation of earning a degree. While they have to work hard and do their part, we owe it to every single student to give them the very best we have and to help them persist to graduation. Studies have shown that non-traditional students, those would include first generation, underrepresented minority, working class, or low income, who enroll at more selective universities such as ours, are more likely to succeed and graduate in part because of the elevated academic challenge. We enroll more of these students than any other research university in the state. And I firmly believe that it is in these students' lives where our impact can be the greatest. A degree from CU Denver creates a multiplier effect. Our graduates' trajectories and that of their families are forever changed. The advanced studies they undertake and the careers they pursue create intellectual and economic benefits that would otherwise not be possible. That in turn improves our city and our state, where the vast majority of our graduates remain. I believe that we have a precious opportunity and a profound obligation. Everyone on this campus has a role to play in student success. Our current 6-year graduation rate for our undergraduate students is 48.2%. A goal that was established a few years back for the Regent metrics is 50%. I say we can do better. Today, I am charging all of us to put a stake in the ground for a 60% 6-year graduation rate. As our roadmap is developed and our efforts become more focused, aligned, and intentional, I absolutely believe that that goal is within reach. I'll be working with our roadmap drivers to determine the target date, and I've already had some input on what they think that might be. The progress that I've shared this afternoon demonstrates that we have put many of the right pieces in place. We have accomplished a lot in the last year, which is to say that you have accomplished a lot. Taken as a whole, our work is propelling CU Denver on its rise to being a top asset in our city. To capture just a bit of this momentum, we've prepared a year in review pamphlet, which you may pick up on your way out today. It doesn't capture everything. That would take several pamphlets, but it does give a sense of our forward momentum. Earlier, I talked about the journey that we're on together. I know that major change requires extraordinary commitment, patience, and some very hard decisions. At times, the road can be winding and bumpy, and the journey can seem long and arduous. I also know it can be frustrating, and I've had a few of those moments myself, as I'm sure you have as well. But I am very confident that together we will persevere in reaching our destination. In closing, it is truly my honor to be your chancellor. I hope you take pride in the outstanding work that we're doing together, the direction we're headed, and our powerful contributions to our students and the larger community. Please know that you have my deepest gratitude. Thank you for what you do each and every day to help CU Denver deliver on its promise as Colorado's public urban research university. I want you to reach across to the person next to you and give a pat on the back because you've really earned it. Thank you very much. Well, we have a few minutes. If anybody has a question that they'd like to ask, there's a mic set in the middle here, and please feel free to approach it and share a question if you have one.
Just a reminder, if you're one of the gift card winners, please come see me. I just need to grab your signature.
Wow, I know it's late in the afternoon. It's time for a nap, huh? Oh, Cheryl has a question. Good.
You talked about the students that didn't return, almost 3,000. And are there any sort of, what are some of the top reasons that you all have found that students don't return? And are you addressing any of those? Do you have any examples of addressing those issues to try to bring that number down?
That's a really good question, Cheryl. And there has been some data that's been collected over time. Probably the number one issue is financial. And students who are trying to balance working while they're going to school, having families as well, and that's one of the reasons why we are increasing the amount of institutional aid that we are making available. It's another reason why we are launching the scholarship campaign with our advancement team that will happen. And really looking at how can we tell the stories of these students, because one of the other statistics that we know is that students who take more credits each semester are more apt to graduate than those who string it out for a long time. So if we can get the students much closer to the 15 credit hours each semester, that's really important. Another factor that happens, just given the nature, and any of us, and I'm a first-generation college graduate, so, and I'd have to say, though, that the rungs in my ladder were probably a little more stable than for a lot of the students that we serve. These students are fragile because they are making a reach in order to come to CU Denver. And if they come into a class, and if they have high ambitions and they're taking, for example, a science class, a chemistry class, and they struggle with the first test, if there isn't somebody there with a safety net to say, you can do this and we will help, we lose a lot of students from that experience. And that's why so many of the tools that we are putting in place with our Student Success Partnership are so essential, where we will be able to have ready access to what's happening to those students. What are the kind of interventions? And I can't help but think of those 3,000 students and see their faces. Can't you do that as well? And you think about it and you think, what an amazing loss for them, particularly if they have taken on debt in order to come to school, and they drop out and don't have either a degree or the extra earning power to pay off that debt. And so for every one of us, if we each could one-on-one take one student and say, how can we help? And so that's why our advising systems are so critical. And the support systems and some of the other things that I talked about, I think, are some of the interventions that are being taken as well.
Dave Walter with the College of Arts and Media, and I have a question. As we're seeing more and more freshmen on campus, and the campus is making a little bit of a transition from a commuter campus to at least more students wanting to live on campus and live near campus, and Campus Village seeing more demand than ever before. I think more students wanted to live there than there were rooms this year. Are there any plans for more another residence hall on campus? I feel personally that that's something that could help CU Denver kind of take a next step forward in a campus that a lot of us would like to see.
I agree with you, Dave. And in fact, as a part of our facility master plan, we have identified student housing. Included in that plan, it would call for a new freshman dorm that would be on the backside of the North Classroom building. And then we are identifying some other spots as well that we could do upper division and perhaps graduate student housing as well. And more likely than not, in order for us to do those, we will be looking at public-private partnerships. And in fact, we've started meetings this week on with some folks that are going to help us evaluate what our options will be. Because really agree that certainly, I mean, we really want to continue to keep and to grow our international student enrollment. For example, that's 7% of our student enrollment, and those students need places to live. We want to continue to grow particularly in some of our specialized programs, the out-of-state enrollment. We want to grow outstate Colorado enrollment, so students who want to come from more rural areas. And just thinking about how expensive housing is in the center city, it makes it challenging. And so for us to have some additional options is really important.
So I'm Steve Billows from the math department. One of the things we've been seeing a lot of is students who start here who have a lack of financial resources. So they're working 20, 30 hours a week and then deciding to take 18 credit hours of classes, and which is not a reasonable load, but they don't figure that out until their first tests, which are 3 or 4 weeks into the semester. But the drop deadline has already passed, and so they're faced with the choice of either, trying to stick it out and failing, or just giving up the money from that class. Would it be possible for first semester students here to have a later drop deadline so that they could actually drop a course or two after when they realize that they've taken on too big of a load?
That might be possible, and there are folks who I'm sure are making a note about that. Where I would go with that, though, is that there's something wrong happening at the beginning. If they had had the kind of advising that they needed to have, and somebody had spent a little time saying, what's reasonable? How can we help you figure this out? That would have prevented them from getting into that situation in the first place. Because I mean, I can't imagine any one of us being able to do that, to be successful at that. And that's again where, relationships matter. And wouldn't it be incredible if every student here felt that we knew them well enough to be able to have that kind of a relationship, to say, how's it going? What is it that you're struggling with, and how can we help get you directed to somebody who can help you with that? So I think there's probably two sides to that I think what you're suggesting is worth looking at, but I would much rather not have them go through the experience of feeling like they failed.
Hello, Shay Swager from the library. So CU Denver is on the Auraria campus, which started in the 70s as a tri-institutional mission. And I was wondering if there was any conversations with CCD or MSU Denver about how to see each other as partners rather than competitors for enrollment, and that we're actually in a project of student success in higher education, maybe even regardless of the institution. Yeah. So are you talking with anybody? Is anybody talking with anybody else?
Yeah. That's a really important question, and an important point as well, I think, Shay. I meet every 2 weeks with the presidents of the Community College of Denver and the new president now of Metropolitan State University, along with the executive director of the Auraria Higher Education Center. So that's what's called the Auraria Executive Council. So we meet very regularly, and I've spent a lot of time with Everett Freeman, who is the president of CCD, and we have a number of conversations. And when I talked about the community college pathways, certainly with CCD, that's a very obvious one. Janine Davidson is the new president of Metro State University of Denver, and so we see each other regularly. We are setting up, I already had one lunch with her and have subsequent ones on the calendar as well, to really talk about how is it that we can enhance the partnerships and the relationships. It's messy, to be honest, because of what has happened over time. And to me, I guess the reset that I have done in my head is that we should not look at each other as competitors. We have at CU Denver a very unique and distinctive niche that neither of them have or can have. And so how is it that we do our very best fulfilling that, but at the same time helping students see that there are there can be ways that we can perhaps leverage the resources that we have. Rod and I are going to be having a conversation before long with a member of the board from Metro, along with Janine, about the whole health professions area and looking at what are the jobs that are more appropriate for Metro to be preparing for in that arena versus CU Denver. So, those conversations are going on, and I do think that it can be somewhat of a new day in terms of how those partnerships work. Well, again, thank you so very much for coming this afternoon and for all you do, and here's to a great year.